All right. Well, hello everyone to our monthly chat series, What's All the ERP Buzz? My name's Amy Keenan. I am the founder of the ISV Society, and I host these live chats every month on the second Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And we typically get around 20 minutes or less, depending on the topic. But today I'm so excited to have MetaViewer be a part of our monthly chat and kicking things off for January 2023. So we're going to be talking about AP automation inside or outside the ERP, because there are many solution options for companies to consider. One difference between the options is whether the solution resides inside or outside the ERP. So when clients are considering an AP solution, should they be looking at something inside or outside the ERP? So I'm so excited for Doug to be here to join me and chat about this and let everybody know some pros and cons to both. So welcome, Doug.
Great, thanks, Amy. Yeah, I'm going to probably, since I'm going to be sharing my screen and kind of looking back and forth, I might kind of stop my video here. But yeah, excited to be here today, and we're going to talk about this topic. Let me stop my video here. There we go. And so really, let's get back to there. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of solutions out there, and one of the things that I guess from time to time I get asked is, should the solution reside inside and outside? And I kind of put a little PowerPoint slide here together, but really going to kind of talk about the things that you should consider when looking at an AP automation solution. We wrestled with that same question when we developed our solution. Whether we should put more components inside of Microsoft or out or keep them outside. And we kind of settled on an external solution with just a few things inside. And really, I think the key for it was really making sure that the integration is really tight and solid. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So kind of the slide that you see on the screen right now, things to consider when looking for AP automation. And I think the most important things are really the first two things. I mean, know your processes and what you want out of the system, right? I mean, some of the common things that people look at, I've kind of listed there on the screen, control, efficiency, visibility, reducing costs, and all those types of things. And then really find the solution that best meets those objectives. Today, I'm going to kind of give some general pros and cons about the inside-outside kind of question, but solutions are ever changing. So not all solutions, whether they're inside or outside the ERP, will have all the pros or maybe not all the cons that I'm going to present today, but really just in general terms. I've been in this industry a long time, so I'm just going to kind of talk about those in general, and we'll kind of go from there.
All right. Well, thanks, Doug. So first off, doesn't Microsoft have workflows for AP built into their ERP? And why wouldn't a client just use those?
Sure. Yeah, that's definitely a good choice. Kind of if I kind of flip down to a slide where I kind of put some of those pros and cons together. So really, Microsoft does have some workflows in their D365. They do have one in GP. I'm not quite sure about SL, but there are some workflows in there. They're typically not as robust and not as customizable as some of the third-party types of solution. And really, Microsoft has embraced the partner mentality really for a long time. We've been a partner for many years, and they kind of rely on us partners to kind of really focus in certain niche areas. And so I think that's where it's not that Microsoft can't build really good workflows inside. They've built some kind of simple workflows, and those might work for you. So you definitely worth taking a peek at. Some of the third-party solutions definitely can be a lot more robust. They do have tools built into them for the data extraction and creating the transactions automatically. In document storage, where are you going to save these documents, and whether you attach them in Microsoft, you can attach documents in there. But depending on the platform, the Microsoft ERP version, it could make your database a little bit bigger over time and cause issues. Probably the other downside is it does require you to have additional licenses for your Microsoft Dynamics solution. So all your approvers now need to have access inside. If you go with the Microsoft workflow solutions, you have to add all those extra licensing, and that could be a substantial cost as well.
All right.
So.
Well, thank you. I feel like, if you can do it in the ERP, great, but most of the time you do need a third-party solution or something else to help enhance those features and functionality.
Yep, that's what we're here for.
Yep, that's why. Hey, that's why I'm here.
That's why I exist. That's why we all exist.
So, are there third parties that have solutions inside of Microsoft's ERP?
There are. I don't. Most of them are outside of the ERP. There are some, like I said, in kind of at the top of the hour, things are ever changing, right? There's new solutions coming out, and then like I said, some people have, we'll meet some of the pros and cons. So really, there are, and I think keeping everything inside kind of keeps things in one place to a certain degree. So that's definitely a perk to that. They do since they are a third party, and they do kind of focus some of their efforts on a particular niche like AP automation or things like that. They typically have a little bit more capabilities than the Microsoft workflows and are configurable. They do account for how to store these documents in an efficient manner and be able to extract some data. A lot of them have those capabilities too. Some of the downsides, it does still require those additional licenses. Obviously, if everything resides inside of the ERP, you definitely have to have licenses so people can get in and get access to that. It is an additional application to manage with any of the third-party solutions, right? If you're not going to use the Microsoft built-in workflows, you're going to have some kind of third-party solution to purchase and to manage. Obviously, the third party should give you some good training on how to do all that, and it should be a good, solid solution. But that's definitely a con. And then one of the things if you put too many things inside of the Microsoft Dynamics, upgrades are something that you definitely need to worry about or be concerned about. Hopefully the third parties are staying in touch with Microsoft to minimize when you run an upgrade to your Microsoft Dynamics platform that it doesn't break. Or they don't interact. I guess like a drug analogy, like things aren't interacting like they're not supposed to. So definitely those would be some of the cons or some things to talk to your solution provider if you choose to pick one that is a third party that sits inside of Microsoft Dynamics.
Yeah, and that's huge because obviously, speaking about upgrades, GP comes out with a new version every year now. And if you have to upgrade every year, then everybody else, all those ISVs have to now make sure that their products are all going with them to every version that they're doing. So
yep, and then the D365 platforms for finance and operations or finance and supply chain management, as well as Business Central, those are all hosted by Microsoft, and they are applying updates on a regular basis. I don't know if it's more frequently than GP. I don't know really exactly the release cycle on those, but they are applying, so they definitely are something to be on the watch out for.
Yes. All right. So we talked about the ERP having those functionalities. We talked about inside the ERP. So then what are the pros and cons for an AP solution that sits outside of the Microsoft ERP?
Sure. Like I said, I'm kind of partial to this because this is kind of how we wrote our solution. But like I said, there definitely are some pros and cons in trying to keep it balanced. And I think you get the pros where it typically is a more robust solution, and capturing and extracting the documents is all accounted for in that solution. And then even creating the transactions in the Microsoft Dynamics solution so that you don't have to. Some people refer to these as bolt-ons, and it's kind of an interesting choice of words. And I think the key to a bolt-on, if you will, if it's a third party outside, is really making sure that it's bolted on properly, right? My car is full of bolts, and as long as all the bolts are in the right places and everything stays together and it all works together as one machine, it's a good solution. I think one of the keys is how it integrates with Microsoft Dynamics, and there's definitely some third parties that you're required to build some intermediate tables, and then it periodically syncs up with Microsoft. That's probably not the preferred method, just because you're really only as good as the last sync, right? So if you have to have it periodically, whether that's once a day or once a week or something like that, that interaction with the vendors and the purchase orders and the chart of accounts and and the transactions and all that detail is really only good as the latest sync. And so that's when we designed our solution. We do more of a real-time integration. So the Dynamics 365 platforms for Business Central and F&O those have some web services that we can leverage to have that real-time integration. So you still manage your vendors, your purchase orders, your chart of accounts, those types of solution, all those types of components in D365 like you do today. When it comes to GPNSL, they did not have any web services, but we were able to make some of those. And there's some other third parties that do have that tight real-time integration with GPSL and the D365 versions to really allow you to manage that information out there, but have the system be in sync in real time. So if you added a new vendor, you add a new purchase order, you add a new account code or dimension, it's readily available in the ERP. And so I think that's the key. If you're going to look for a solution and it seems to meet all your needs, I definitely you'd want to ask those questions of how it communicates with D365 so that that data is real time.
Yes, exactly. So I guess to wrap it all up, where does MetaViewer fit into all of this?
Yeah, I kind of talked about it kind of as we went along, and like I said at the top of the hour, when we decided to design our solution, we kind of wrestled with those factors. Where do we have this thing reside? And we kind of decided on the ability to keep it outside, and so we can kind of manage. We've been doing this for 40 years, so we've been doing document management in all aspects. And so keeping everything outside and having that legacy that we have, where we've been doing document management for a lot of years, we can control and make the best solution possible for those purposes. But the key was really that tight integration, leveraging the web services that the D365 platforms provide, and then our ability to create some for GPNSL so we can integrate with that in real time as well. And not only is it talking to those vendors and those purchase orders and your chart of accounts, so you can only enter valid chart of accounts, but it also integrates to where we can do duplicate checks. And that real-time integration is pretty key, because I can't prevent somebody from manually keying something into Microsoft Dynamics. And to part of our solution, we kind of look and periodically look to make sure that if we're processing something, that there's that real-time integration. So if there's somebody is trying to duplicate that effort somewhere else, we want somebody to be aware of that. And so I think we've created a great solution, and I think I think for customers, hopefully they would consider us as one of their options. Like I said too, things are ever changing. I kind of presented some of the pros and cons for the different places where your AP automation solution can reside, and they're ever evolving, and they're trying. I think other solutions are trying to minimize the cons and accelerate their pros. So things might change. Some people that are, or maybe some of those third parties watching today might say, well, we don't have that con. Fair enough. I don't know everybody's, and I can't know them all the time. But like I said, as an educated person who's looking for AP automation, they should definitely do that and ask the right questions. And like I said, I think the key is really finding what your objectives are. What are you trying to accomplish? And especially if it's beyond AP, right? So there's solutions like ours that we can do other things other than AP as well. So that might be something that's important to you. But then meeting all those objectives. So I did put a slide up with our contact information. So if somebody wanted to reach out, shoot us an email at info@metafile.com, and I'd be certainly happy to talk to you about ours and see whether it's a good fit for your organization.
Well, thank you, Doug. I think that was very insightful. It's nice to see the comparison. So when people are looking at solutions, you certainly want to know the pros and cons, and obviously it all comes down to what makes sense for your business, your organization. And this at least helps with the starting point for people to figure out what is and which ones they should be looking at and how it will work for their business. So thank you.
Yeah, you bet. I think we kind of finished a little bit quicker today than 20 minutes, but you never know.
Hey, record time,
Yeah. No, I appreciate having the opportunity today. Like I said, if those that are watching, if they would like to ask more questions, they can shoot us an email or give me a call, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. But like I said, there's good solutions out there. I think like I said, the Microsoft internal ones might work for you, or maybe they don't. But it's definitely worth investigating, and hopefully we can help you guys out.
Yes, thank you. And again, thank you everyone for joining us for our first monthly chat of January. Stay tuned for next month's, and I will be sending out the recording as well as contact information in case you have any questions. But again, thank you so much for joining us at this time, this month, same place next time in February. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Thanks, Amy.
Thanks, Doug.
Bye.